I'm a survivor. I will survive. I will survive. And I'm a firm believer. We'll forever strive just to stay alive. That simple means say nobody can hold me, man. Nobody can change my energy. Nobody can hold me sick. I will let alone negativity. Nobody can hold me, man. Nobody can change my energy. Nobody can. Nobody can. Everybody show me some strength. No weakness. Show me a way I'm going. Strength. No weakness. Show them who we are. Strength. No weakness. Show me a way I'm going. Everybody strength. No weakness. Show them who we are. Not when you're old. Your enemies, they must tremble. Your enemies, they must tremble. Yo, not when you're old. Everything have to humble. Everything have to humble. I'm a go-getter. I does God. I does God. And I'm a kind of fella. Put my trust in God. Put my
feeling hungry, grab a snack. Caribbean food delight. Jamaican patties, light and flaky. Caribbean food delight. Taste the difference. Caribbean food delight. Grab a patty, take a bite. Caribbean food delight. Quick and easy, grab a patty, take a bite. Caribbean food delight.
Oh yeah.
You gotta be firm in this time, son. You gotta be strong in this time, son. I'm a survivor.
Ride along, welcome to the ride, welcome to the ride.
I will survive.
How's everybody doing? What's up? Boy, you know, today was this big debate I was having in my head. All day I've been having this debate in my head. I'll tell you about it. I'll tell you guys about it. But guys, listen, as you come and go ahead and share the program, put it on the page as I'm doing right now, and I'll tell you guys what is really bothering me right now, what is stuck in my crotchet, what is pissing me off right now. Yeah, allow me a little time to vent, please. Share the program, guys, share the program. Lois JJ, how you doing, my friend? Boy, sometimes you don't know if to laugh or cry, yeah? Rena, how you doing? Big up yourself. Thank you so much, Rena. Lacey J, I see you. Thank you so much. Appreciate you so much. Alice, I share. Everybody share.
How you doing? Big up yourself.
Let me make sure everybody share. Everybody share. Let me make sure everybody share. It's important. Sharing is caring, right? That's what they say. Sharing is caring. All right. Let me share it on this page. Yeah. Yeah, Rena, I see you. Big up yourself, Rena. Let me tell you something. Where I'll start? Where should I start with this? All right. So first, let me say this: that today's program, we're going to be speaking with the folks from the Grand Anse Bus Association. You know, today they had what is called Red Wednesday, right? Red Wednesday. We go find out all about the folks from the Grand Anse Bus Association. We have Laurie and we have Derek McKenzie, who is going to be joining us to talk a little bit more about that. Lydia James, how you doing? Love you, Lydia James. I cook food, you know that, right? Big up yourself. See, I should laugh and cry. All right. There are a group of people, right, but somehow believe that intimidation is going to get us to crack or divert or going to get us to not publish or unpublish certain things that we we're convicted on, right? Now I remember dating back to the first time, the first couple shows I ride along. We had a story that a lot of people didn't like. I don't know if Lois JJ could remember that. We had someone who was a transgender, and it was a controversial topic, right? It was a topic that a lot of people didn't like. I remember people, going on their page, making lives, and they said all kind of nastiness about me and about the platform and what they would, it's the worst thing that we could ever decide to do. There were some really nasty things, and some of them was personal attacks, right? Personal attacks on me. Some of them even got so personal and brought my family into it. Nasty heaping set of people. And I've always said, my conviction is to allow the stories to be told, the stories to be heard, and nobody is going to intimidate Ridealong. Let it be known loud and clearly. Nobody would intimidate Ridealong. So let's fast forward to the story that we broke yesterday. A story that we've been investigating for 3 long months. 3 months. It's alleged that this individual, I guess it's popular on Facebook, people like the little stupidness that he does do, and always in people inbox, all kind of thing. Little nastiness kind of boy. We block him on this program here. And I listen, I don't call people out of the name most of the time, I don't call people out of the name most of the times. But this particular individual, he had a personal vendetta against me. That person went as far as to threaten my life in public. He went as far as to do that. And when that individual was in a situation, he was in a serious situation, the same person that he said the worst thing about in public, he came back to me for help in the same breath. But anyway, we let sleeping dogs lie. That went, that passed. That went, that passed. He posts all sort of thing about the platform. One of the reasons why, and I didn't tell you guys that before, but I'll tell you right now. One of the reasons why we've been having all these problems on the platform where things are being reported and things are being, and every time we can't get on and all this problem was because of this said individual. Partially because of this said individual. How we know that? Because he admitted to it. He told someone. And we have facts to back it up that he told someone and that's what he was going to do. So a group of them just all got together and start reporting everything that we post. That almost capsized the whole platform. But it did not succeed. Nevertheless, we let sleeping dogs lie. Leave them. Let it roam. That said individual, because of what he was doing, he was a nuisance. He was blocked from this platform. You guys remember him? He used to always be in the chat and always be a part of it. He went and do his own live, right? His own live, trying to discredit the work that we're doing here. Anyway, he have the right to do that, whatever the case might be. We let sleeping dogs lie. This said individual, we had nothing to do with him after that point, right? I don't know what he's doing. I don't follow him. We have no interaction at all whatsoever. 3 months ago, somebody came up, posted or sent us an article stating that this said individual is somehow, they feel like he was scamming them off from monies. Now, we've been hearing this trickling about, we're hearing little people talking about things, people talking about it, and it came back to him. But we never take it seriously. So when that one individual called, we said, you know what? We need to hear more. I need to hear more. So put some meat on the bone. Next end of the month, somebody else called and was giving us some additional information. Guys, I have to get this off before I talk to the Grand and Bus Association because this is on my conscience, it's on my chest, and I'm not a person that like to keep stuff in. We said we're going to investigate the matter. Within this space of 3 months, 12 different individuals called stating that this individual is, they believe that they were scammed by this individual. He would take money from them on the promise that they would receive those funds of some sort. I mean, I know the stock, the trading is, you can never guarantee. But so I give them some guarantees that they would get these funds at certain period of times and certain profit will be paid on certain period of times. We have all the receipts, every single one of the voice notes. Guys, I have to get this off my chest. I'm telling all you, I have to get this off my chest. Anyway, we investigated this thing for 3 months, 3 long months, count it, 3 months. 12 individuals came forward. We still didn't break the story. We still didn't break the story. We went as far as to check out publication and learn that that same individual was published on the UK website as being unauthorized, providing illegal and unauthorized work to the general public that is not legally, he don't have no authorization to do, in other words. You get this is a personal attack. I want to get it straight. I want to get it straight because yesterday I sat back and I watched so much people came up and talk and said what they had to say, and I just watched it because at the end of the day we were still human, eh? And the personal attack that was instigated by this person again, trying to defend the indefensible. Anyway, broke the story, put it out there. And our only intention was to get back these people their monies. But I'm happy to state today, after the story broke yesterday, some of the individuals said that they have been getting calls and it seems like things are moving. However, we'll continue to monitor the situation. We'll continue to monitor the situation. Hopefully, everyone get back whatever was promised to them. Nothing more, nothing less. That's all they're asking for. Just what was promised to them. That's all we're asking for. I want to make it very clear to everyone that's watching. To everyone that was called us or that messaged me with threats. Yes, threats. Message me on my personal phone with threats, including that individual. You cannot intimidate me nor this platform. I want you to remember that. You cannot intimidate me with your threats of whatever kind. It would not happen. We'll continue to update everyone on the story. And I don't care who don't like it. If you are a hardcore fan of the individual and you don't like what I say, it's fine. And I have every right to be very upset right now because a lot of you guys didn't understand the ridicule that I went through yesterday from individual popping into my personal phone, WhatsApp, and message me a bunch of crap for the whole day yesterday until I had to block a few of them. You guys didn't have to go through that. It's not about me. It's about these people who need to get their money back. That's it. So let's move on. Let's move on. And if he wants to tell his story, he could go on his Facebook and tell his story. But why has he hasn't been talking, not even on his own Facebook, not even on his own platform. If he wants to tell his story, he has Facebook to tell his story. Tell him post something on his Facebook. Answer something on his Facebook. He's a ghost right now. Only pushing people to talk on to defend the indefensible on his behalf. He has every right to defend himself. Every right to defend himself. Ask him to go ahead and defend himself. And ask these people to provide proof, because they have the proof. And it's more incriminating when they present that proof. Anyway, guys, I've been holding and biting a lot for this, especially for yesterday, for what I saw. And you guys have to imagine that I'm human as well. Fear Penguin, I don't know who you are, Fair Penguin Julian. There's always two sides to the story. Yeah. I firmly believe that there's always two sides to the story, and we explode all sides of the story. All right? Let's move on. Let's go and speak. So this is kind of out a little bit. I feel a little bit better. You know, it's always good to vent a little bit. Okay, Noel, let's get to the point, Junior. The case and point of this is that, guys, we stand behind our story that we published yesterday. If you don't know what we're talking about, you get to go to the page and you'll see the story, you see the post, and you see everything that was posted. We stand behind the story 100%, and we're going to continue to update the public and everyone to ensure all the stakeholders involved, and make sure that everyone get their money back or whatever that was promised to them. All right. With that said, I think I held up these guys on them a little too long, and they're not a part of this at all, but I just had to get it off my chest, as I said. Let's get to the busmen. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we had what was called the Red Wednesday. Red Wednesday. I don't know if you guys got a chance to see it, but there was a protest. There was the busmen all came out today, and a lot of people came out in solidarity for the busmen. And joining us to give us some more information on that is the PRO of the Grand Anse Bus Association, and also Mr. Larry Brathwaite, who is joining us. We just lost the president of the the PRO of the Grand Anse Bus Association, but Larry is here with us. Larry, could you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Larry, how are you doing? Thank you so much for joining us. It's important that we hear about all that transpired today with as it relates to Red Wednesday. Okay, we got the PRO. Let's bring it back in. We got Derek back in. So let's start with Derek. He's the PRO. Derek, welcome back in. How are you doing, sir? Derek, are you hearing me? All right, Derek is not hearing me. So let's go with Larry. Larry, tell us about Red Wednesday. What is Red Wednesday, and what's the reason for the protest today?
Good evening, everybody. Now, for months and years, we have different governments, different ministers who have been having dialogues with. There are concerns that we as busmen have been facing for many years. And we've had situations where busmen have had to deal with the high cost of operations. We've had to deal with situations when it comes to the legal process with police officers on a daily basis, different charges for different things. And now we have a pandemic situation, and I'm going to fast forward with this because I don't want to stay too long on the topic. We have seen some irregularities in the way that busmen have been dealt with based on the law. And so some of these things, and now we have a situation that the price of gas in Grenada is so high. What we've done is we've taken account of all of the other Caribbean islands with their fuel costs. And I think some of the placards that you would have seen today, one of those placards actually highlighted the fuel costs that is across the Caribbean. And you can see there's a big difference. Where we in Grenada here, the fuel cost that we have is way higher than all of the other Caribbean islands. Barbados is $5.00. You have St. Lucia, which is 13 something. You have Trinidad and the different Caribbean islands. And Grenada is 16.36. And we believe that it is too high for whatever reason. And because of that, and because of all of the other cost factors that right now we cannot subsidize, and we are not being subsidized by the government. Right? We have a situation where we've had conversations with them in regards to the cost, the operational costs in regards to the bus fare, and we are not getting the satisfaction that we seek. All right, and we understand, this is a pandemic situation, amongst all other things, and we understand that there's supposed to be proper protocols to follow to get things done, but somehow we think at some point we are falling on deaf ears, and we would like the people to understand that this is not just about busmen seeking or trying to be greedy. We have operational costs. All of us are families. I think all of the families, across Grenada are intertwined into the bus system, into the bus families.
Yeah. Larry, where is the bottleneck? Where is the bottleneck? Is the bottleneck in government? Where is the bottleneck that's holding up and making it difficult for busmen?
What would I say? Derek, is Derek there?
Yeah, he's there, but his device is cutting off, so he's in black right now. I don't know why. Derek, we're not hearing you. As soon as he fix that issue, I'll bring him in.
Right. Well, I don't want to lay too much weight on the government, but I believe that the bus system in Grenada is in a mess. The transportation industry, as a matter of fact. I mean, we understand that what we have is a system where all of the buses are privately owned. There's no public service here by the government, and the legislation that are in place right now that governs this is basically one of the preventative measures from us having the kind of control that we need to enact a better transport system.
Right.
And this is one of the major influences right now that we are having that creates this uncomfortable situation.
Right. I see Derek is trying to chime in. Derek, could you hear us? Okay, we still can't get Derek. And as soon as we get him, we're going to bring him on. So it's you. Larry, how has the pandemic affected busmen in Grenada?
Well, now we have a situation where the cost of freight all across the world has risen, and I think everybody understands that. Everybody knows that, and because of that, what we are seeing is, but the thing is, let's go back a bit. Now, during the pandemic, when the pandemic hit, and Grenada started locking down, busmen were told that they cannot work. Right? We were actually asked to stay off the road for a considerable amount of time. Well,
Right.
of course, we have institutions that we need to pay, like the banks and mortgages and all those things. And what basically happened is that because we stayed off the road for so long, it created a problem for us meeting our monthly expenses. Now that problem is still there because I mean, we've had moratoriums from the banks and stuff, and we've had the government come in and step in and try to help us in this regard. And I'm not saying that the government haven't been there to help or to try to help, but what we've seen, we have situations where people who busmen haven't even received anything where the moratorium is concerned, and they had to, we have situations where busmen had to lose their daily income. Some buses were repossessed, and this is because the income that we are getting right now, because of the high fuel costs, even, it's creating a problem for us. Can you imagine a bus, one of those highest new model Toyota buses, and after you stay a day on the road, what when you go to the pump in the gas station at night, you $180 to fill your tank. Yeah, and that's a lot of money.
Right.
The schools are closed, businesses, people have lost their jobs, so things aren't moving as fast as it used to move. You know, the tourism industry is practically shut down. You know, so the monies are not flowing as it used to in times gone by. So
Mhm.
that is creating a bottleneck for us.
Jason Skit is saying here that this is bigger than bus operators. This is about road users, vehicle owners, and an ineffective ruined transport system.
Hmm.
What's your thought?
Jason Skeet is right. Jason Skeet is absolutely right. There's so much more involved here. You know, I think you see, I don't want to get political, but
Right.
but a government elected by the people is supposed to find ways so that everybody, you know, sit down with all stakeholders, the busmen, the private sector, the public sector, put everybody together, because we cannot do it only dealing with one part of the economy. It's a pie, and if you leave out one part of the pie, it's definitely going to cause chaos.
Right.
We
Yeah.
have been left out. We have been left out, and transportation is very important ingredient in any industry, in any country. This transportation industry is of paramount importance to the survival of a nation. If we pull off the road, what is going to happen?
Right. So did the busmen receive any kind of incentive? I know there was a moratorium, right? But then that means that after the moratorium, you would have to pay that back in a lump sum.
Exactly. There were different arrangements from different banks. We saw when there was a bit of easement during the pandemic times, we saw instances where banks were started calling on people to make good on their payments. You
So
know, and
even hold on. So even during the pandemic, the banks were still
oh yes,
calling
oh
for regular
yes,
payments.
oh
So,
yes.
so wasn't that supposed to be covered by the moratorium?
Well, you know, the first moratorium that was given was only lasted for so long. They gave it within a certain space of time, and then it was extended. And I guess after that extension, they expected people to pay. But unfortunately, we have a situation where the pandemic is ongoing, and you know, we still have a situation where the economy is not running as fast as it should, and that is creating problems. I think some of the banks have started to understand. So you've noticed that gradually they're not, you know, being as forceful as they were in the beginning. But you know, we still have those bills to pay. We still have, you know, our families to take care of, and the economy is still not running as fast as we wanted to. So there is still that problem. You know, I think the government would probably say right now that there are things in place, you know, for possibly for us to get some kind of assistance, but um, that is left to be seen.
Right. Today, not to get too far ahead of it, but today the finance minister announced that there will be some kind of loan, soft loan, which is a 10-year term or 12-year term of sorts, and then but you have 3 years in which you don't have to pay anything. So busmen and other small micro enterprises could take advantage of these opportunities, pay off their loan for the bus, and then they'll pay back that loan in a start in a 12-year period. Wouldn't that be isn't that a good incentive for busmen and other micro businesses?
Think about it. Bus is your only income, right? You're
Right.
already suffering, right? And here comes the government, when you're not making any money, gives you an incentive to start to 3 years. You don't have to pay. What happens in the no? What actually happens in the no? Because even if you don't pay for 3 years and you get a loan, you know, that you have to pay off however percentage it is for 12 years, you still have a situation where you have wear and tear on your vehicle. You have your kids to take care of. You will still have the overhead expenses from before that you have to clear up. It will still put you in debt. And we don't know what's happening with this pandemic, how long it's going to last. So there are still things to consider.
Yeah.
No, we could have done with subsidies. We could have done with grants. Because of course, you know, a grant, you don't have to pay it back. I mean, we're not saying we want handouts, but, you know, we have to stimulate the economy in such a way that it doesn't force the monkey on our backs.
Right. But who's forcing the monkey on the back? Because I'm still trying. I think Derek is trying to get on with another device. Let me see if I could pull him in here. Derek, are you hearing us now? All right. Derek sorting out himself there. Derek sorting out. Yeah. So
what we might do is if Derek is having problems getting in, we might replace Derek with Mr. Carl Ned, because he's actually listening to the well. Here comes Derek.
Yeah.
Derek, can you hear?
Yeah, Derek, could you hear me? Enable your audio, Derek, because we're not hearing you yet. All right, so Derek is sorting out his stuff. So who's forcing the monkey on your back?
No, you see, I don't want to go into too much details on that. I think the economy,
Hello, guys.
as we know it.
All right, Derek is there. Derek is there now. Derek is a PRO of the Grand Anse Bus Association. Thank you, Derek. Better late than never, right? I know we was having some connection problems. What you hear now, that is. So Derek, tell us
some
about
earpiece problem.
No problem. Tell us about this Red Wednesday and the real reason behind message to.
I'm not hearing you, Junior.
Okay, well.
Yeah, I'm here. Okay, I'm hearing you now.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, okay. Red Wednesday. It was a survival match, basically. Our industry has been under some tremendous pressure in terms of the high gas prices. Since we came back out from COVID, the gas price was about $11. Right now it's $16.36. And, you know, it's been going up. And every time gas price go up, it doesn't just affect you at the pump. It affects you also in terms of parts, tires, and everything else, you know. And what happens is that the structured business, they get to pass on, even though the gas affect them too, they get to pass it on to the customers and the consumers. Unfortunately for us, we can't, because we are regulated by the government, you know. So if something go up this month and then you go to the store, then you see it reflected in the price. But for us, we've been operating at the price of the fare since 2007, you know.
Oh.
And we've been in dialogue with the government of Grenada, asking them to assist us with some easement in our industry, because our members are really crying out and we really feel pinched. So, you know, in light of that, the gas went up again lately, and members started to complain what the executive of the NBA is doing, and they had their own suggestions, and we decided to take up flight to the streets, as you know, everyone will do when something, you know, humbug them or when they're not happy about something. So we decided to take it to the streets.
Right. I was asking Laurie earlier about the proposal that was on the table. I don't know if to call it a proposal. I don't know if it's enacted as yet, but the government is proposing a stimulus for micro enterprises, which gives micro enterprises, and he mentioned busmen, that soft loan where they have 3 years, they don't have to pay anything, and then it's a 12-year grace, right? Could that benefit busmen so they could pay off their bill, pay off their bus, and then have that soft loan that they could pay off in 10 years or so?
Well, I think we talk about two things. One, first, I must say that a stimulus is something that you don't have to pay. So that is not a stimulus. It is a soft loan. And I'm not saying that there are a few busmen that may not benefit from it. Given that a lot of people have issues with the bad roads and so on. They have a lot of suspension problems. And because of the moratorium that we took when COVID hit, they're stuck with the interest and so on for the banks and so on. So it can help in that way. But it still doesn't change the fact that it is a loan. It still has to be paid back, regardless. It's 3 years grace period to pay it back. It still has to be paid back. One might say, if you might qualify for a grant, but that's provided you still have to apply for the loan and qualify for the loan and qualify for that. So something immediate effect that doesn't change the fact that we have high gas price, because you won't get a loan to go buy gas. You see what I'm saying? Or other things that affect you, like suspension and things like that. Right now, we want relief on the gas price, right? And the government made $5.50 every gallon of gas. We have the highest gas rate in the whole region. So they should find some way by which they could assist the bus industry. For too long, transportation been neglected in this country, and we just need this is such a crucial part to the economy, because without transportation, this economy goes nowhere. And we just need a government that is sensitive enough to see that and to help us, that we can move the nation so we could get out of that situation that we are in. But we can't do that if you're not assisting us, if you leave us to fall out, or and it's just terrible.
Right. So as I was asking Laurie again, who is creating, but where is the bottleneck? Explain to us where the bottleneck is at this point in time.
Well, the battle is to get a price increase, we have to go to the government. That is a big battle, right?
Not the battle. The bottleneck.
Bottleneck. What is clogging? What clogging up the system?
The system is clogged up with a lot of things. Saturation of buses. We have a lot of buses on the road.
But isn't that between
routes? Yeah.
Isn't that something to do with the organization and coordination and with the association to regulate and have your peers and work that whole system out? Does government have anything to do with that?
I wish it was like that. Many years ago, many years ago, right? We had what you call the system where you had to apply and buy before you to get a sticker. The route sticker is actually a big problem. We don't have control over the route stickers, so we don't have control as to how many buses go on a route or something like that. The government controls stickers, so people apply and they issue stickers. We ask them for a freeze on it. In Granans, we have a moratorium where there wouldn't be any new stickers being increased coming on the route. But we want the moratorium to be national. I think, if I remember right, from the end of August, there should be a national moratorium. The government was supposed to consult with the stakeholders. Stakeholders in that instant is the dealership, the insurance, the banks, and so on, because that would be a freeze there. So to get back with stickers, a big problem, we don't control that. So we don't control who comes on the route, and there's a thing they call free integration around with, which means you can't tell somebody where to invest their money. A man want to buy a bus, and they go just sell him a bus. He apply for his sticker, and he gets it.
Larry, you were saying something? Oh, hold on, you're muted.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so it basically comes down to the fact that right now it's based on the system that governs us. The legislations that are in place right now, and maybe they are using it against us, and we haven't found that loophole as yet to get the proper legislation in place. But right now it's legislation. The transportation industry needs to be legislated in such a way that we have more control than we have right now. It's not that we want to usurp authority over the government. We just want to have a system. And listen, we have so much plans in place to make the transport industry function proper, because we know we have problems inside. And I think a lot of people will be watching and they will say, oh, busmen does do this, busmen does do that. But nobody is taking the time to sit down with busmen, and devise a strategy forward so that everybody benefits. Listen, busmen do a whole lot for the community, and we don't talk about it. I know situations where, I mean, we might be stepping off a little here, but I know situations where busmen have paid people's children's school fees for months, for years, and there are many other things, and I wouldn't go into other things. So it's when the narrative is that busmen, we are so bad, and we are not good, and a lot of the things that we do in the public is because of survival. It's because of survival. The saturation is too much, and when we go to the government and say, look, we need to put a stop on buses from coming in. No, that's another thing, because then we go into revenue. Do you know that from the time a bus lands on the port, government starts to collect money from it? And every step that it takes up to the time that you own it, government still collects revenue. And on top of that, the police comes and we get tickets, another set of revenue to the government. So basically, we buy a bus, but it's not ours. It's not ours. It belongs to the government. If we go to give you the figures per month, per year that the government makes off of fuel from us, trust me, you might not be able to have a comfortable sleep tonight, because they make a lot of money from us. So why would you stop something that you're making continuous revenue from? But at the end of the day, it is stifling the economy. It is stifling us. So something has to be done. We need to sit down and say, look, all right, China has done it. China, I mean, maybe the leadership, situation is different. But there was a point in time when China decided, okay, there are too much vehicles, so every family needs to have one or two. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Control. There has to be a level of control so that the economy is stimulated and growth can happen.
Yeah.
But when one area is being sucked, it puts a strain on the whole situation. So
Okay, let's take this call. We got a call on the line. Caller, live. Where you calling us from?
I ain't gonna even give you all that information. You don't know who it is.
Yeah, how you doing, my brother?
I am great, my brother. I am great.
Go ahead. Yes.
First of all, I want us to compliment the diligent work that both of us are doing in this country. Let me tell you something. A lot of these people in high places in our society seem to forget that they went to school to get their education from teachers and traveling on buses to get there.
Right.
That's one. Two, I want to go further to say that I was just calling to make that same point that the gentleman is making. Anytime any vehicle at all lands in this country, the government starts to collect money instantaneously on it. Now, what a lot of people don't know is that the fees that school children pay on buses is because of bus operators subsidizing the cost of travel. Let me break that down for you. There's a standard rate for using the bus in this country. It is gazetted. It is gazetted what is the fare from point A to point B of the various zones. That is gazetted. Let us take the 250 zones for example. When you insure your bus, when you go to the insurance company to insure your bus, the insurance company doesn't see an adult or a child. They ask how many passengers and what they see are referred to as lives.
Right.
So if perchance your bus meets an accident, the insurance company has no interest in whether or not the child paid $150 or $2 and the adult paid $250. The insurance company has no issue, no beef, no concern with that. It is not their business. They don't care about it. What they see is a life. And because of the life expectancy of the child, generally, children may very well be entitled to more.
Right.
depending on the severity of the accident, and they're the ones who pay the least. But they pay the least because bus operators took it on their own to subsidize the cost of the children, school children traveling. The government didn't have nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
That is an initiative taken by bus operators years ago. And that is what I want a lot of people to understand, that this has nothing to do with the government. The next thing is this, my brother. We have some deplorable rules in this country. And it is the right, we elect the government to make sure and look after these things. They have the responsibility of managing the country, managing the finances of the country to make sure that everybody benefits in an equal and fair way.
Yeah.
Right? And I am saying, when you look at the conditions of these rules, it is horrible.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if when you've been to Korea, you visit the bus terminal. Let me tell you something. It is as hot as hell inside that place. You're talking over 1 foot of thick concrete with what, 10, 12 feet apart?
Yeah.
People, there's a reason. Let me give you a little breakdown here. My brother. Hear with me. People walk from the bus terminal and walk up the road by the fish market, coming up by by Lacroix to take a bus. You know why they walk up there to take the bus? Because they can't bear to stand up in this terminal in the heat. Because you have bus engines running there loading on the bay. You have concrete structure. You have barricades with no ceiling fans or nothing. And you have people sitting in these buses, walking along these corridors there, and it is hot like hellfire.
Yeah.
So people walk up there to take buses. So guess what happens? The buses take forever to load. And what buses do now is that they drive out the terminal to pick up people who walk up the road because they can't bear to stay in the terminal. But guess what happens? When the bus driver drives up there to pick them up, they get a charge for $150.
Yeah. Yeah. I've heard so many stories where the police ain't easy on them bus drivers and them at all, boy. But sometimes some people say it's self-inflicted, because they say, and you guys could correct me here, Derek, that bus drivers are some of the people, some routes will pick up passengers and in spots that's not allocated to pick up passengers.
Junior,
bus stop.
Junior,
all of these things are being
Junior, bus drivers and bus operators, like everybody else, is not without sin. This here is not the intention to make bus drivers and bus operators look like saints. What bus drivers and bus operators went out there to do today is to take the lead. And let me tell you why bus operators went out there today to take the lead. Right? We, as bus operators, because I'm a bus operator, I own a bus. And that's the reason why I'm in solidarity with it. We went outside there today to take the lead. You know why? Because we are the ones who lead. We lead at the gas station. We spend the most amount of money in fuel on any given day. We lead because we take most of the people to work every day in this country. We lead because we use the roads more than anyone else in this country.
Right.
We lead because we are the ones who pay exorbitant fees to the insurance companies every year.
Right.
So we went outside there today to lead, but this is bigger than bus operators. This is about all vehicle users, all road users, and an ineffectively run transport system in this country, and an ineffectively governed country. That is what this is about.
Mr. Bradford, want to say something? Go ahead, Larry.
Let me just point out something here. Now, because of the pandemic, we had a system where we decided to do a rotation of all our buses on all our routes.
Right.
And let me highlight that issue here. Now, because of that, there were less tickets. There were less harassment from before when all of the buses were on the road. So it speaks to the saturation. If we had a system where it was more coordinated and dealt with in a more for lack of a proper word, but if it was it was dealt with in a better way, so that you don't just allow buses to just come on the route, it could have solved the problem. we would have been better off.
Yes. Let me go back.
And when we talk about saturation on the routes, they disprove it. They say, you know, they have to do a study and they have to see. I mean, that's supposed to be ongoing. You don't have till we complete to do studies, make sure that the transportation system is running smoothly. All of us have to be a part of this. And when you neglect us, and then things get out of hand and we start to complain, that is when everybody starts saying we need to do this when it should have been done already.
Derek, I mean, are you back with?
I'm here.
Right, Derek. We have. I mean, people are watching. People are listening. Who is this message? Who do we want to send this telegraph message to, in particular? Because they are paying attention right now.
We want to send the message to everybody that feels the pinch, and nationwide, everybody feels it. I need to speak to not only for busmen, although it is a busmen initiative, the NBA initiative. There's a youngster that actually I spoke to during the match today, and he said to me, "Listen, I do weed eating." So he buys oil for $11, and he pays 16 and change for a gallon of gas, and he charged $40 to cut the yard. And he didn't even talk about the string yet. He didn't talk about transportation to commute to go where he needs to cut the yard. So it doesn't only affect us, you know, but we are taking the lead and say, listen, because we are the pump every day, we make a major contribution. So we are saying that, listen, the average bus burn 10 gallons of gas a day at $16 plus, it's $160 by a bus. All right. So we feel in the pinch. So we're sending that to everybody to know that, listen, here's what's happening. We cannot raise our bus fare by ourselves. Just like the gentleman mentioned, that busmen gives concession to school children. Eventually, we would have to do something if the government doesn't find a means to come down on the $5.50 that they collect on every gallon. The bus fare will have to go up. The concession will have to be removed because we are taking a pinch. Everybody pass their expenses on to the customers, and we just can't. And how long can we go on with a bus fare that's been there since 2007? You know, so it's a general message to everybody. We're just trying to highlight our plights, and that's what this is about.
What I'm concerned, right? And the question is specifically to that price, that regulated price. Is there anyone that is talking to government or speaking on the behalf of busmen to alleviate that blockage, so that price could be better adjusted? Because everything else, I mean, price go up in the food in the stores goes up, everything else goes up, but bus prices. Who's talking on the behalf to change?
I hope there's somebody that is talking on the behalf of us, because we've been talking for months about it, and hence the reason why we are at the street now, because everything, a study has to be done. Those other companies don't have to do study to pass these expenses on to us, right? So why I don't understand why a study has to be done that the gas price is $16 plus, and the gas and the bus fare been like that since 2007. Come on, I don't think it makes sense.
Let's jump on the phone again. We got a call on the line. Caller, where you calling us from?
Good night. I'm calling from Grenada.
Go right ahead.
Are you hearing me clearly?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay, so I wanted to attend something. When you asked about the bottleneck, right? We have been in negotiations with the government for 16 months, right? And I will take you back to the beginning of the pandemic when we asked for 50 cents increase, because we projected that based on how things were going, that it will send our business down the drain.
Right.
All right. Now we was in dialogue, and one thing you have to remember that at that point, both the government and the people of Grenada were saying no, it's not the time. At that point, the gas price was $13.10. somewhere around there or even less. Now, 16 months into it, within that whole year, we've been clamoring for the government to pay for sanitizers and a lot of things. They give us stimulus package. When they come, they say that it was only for operators and not the bus owners. All right? No, the bus owners had to fend for themselves because the government objective was providing jobs for conductors. So they wanted to put in a little stimulus so the operators could get a little finance and not the owners. Now we're in a situation now where everything went up. You have tires, 4 tires went up by almost $80, and the list goes on as we've seen in different markets now. Now, we've been clamoring for a concession on fuel for the last year, right? They give concession to fishermen. The last time I checked, right? We had one of the gas stations who came and give us back, I think it was between 10 and 12 cents on every gallon because they understand the plight that we was going through. And all of this at that time was to avoid raising the bus fare. We all know that the bus fare needs to increase, but at the same time, the poor people's salary remains the same. And it's time Grenadians understand that we need to come together and try to get the minimum wage and these sort of stuff raised so that they can afford a bus price where we can afford to control our operational costs. Now, the regulations that governs the bus system is only one-sided. Now, I sure you remember when the whole issue, when we were clamoring in the media for 2 seats at the Transport Commission level, right? Now, the Transport Board was dissolved. The Transport Commission was implemented late last year. Up to this day, only one person we have met from the Transport Commission. There was a body that was supposed to be implemented under the Transport Commission to correct all issues that are affecting the industry. We hear the issues on the other side from discipline with conductors, drivers, from the lawlessness, from the late shuttles, the services. We have 2 conductors who got chopped in one day from St. David's. And when we ask police for assistance, we don't get it. We have pirating issues, right? So there's a lot of things that the government is just avoiding dealing with because lawlessness brings money for the government. Tickets. We have conductors who is being charged up to $1,000 per mass. Now the question is, how much is the charge for not wearing a mask? I'm not condoning that when you wear a mask, you're supposed to get charged, right?
Right.
But at the same time, the last time we dealt with the mask issue, they said it was $350 for not wearing a mask for all the 50 charges. Right? Now you're hearing it's $550. Where are they changing those laws? That's the question that they need to answer, and when and how in the dark. Right? These are the issues that we are having. Conductors is being charged when you have Grenadians walking up and down the street not wearing masks. It has to be across the board. The law is for everybody.
Right.
And we are the ones who feel this every day and go to jail for assisting persons. Someone mentioned about the bus stops. The same bus stops that we're not using. It's to assist the Grenadian people. When you go to New York, you go to Canada, you have to be on the bus stop. You cannot travel with all your groceries. We do it still in Grenada as a cultural thing. So when they're trying to paint a picture that we are so lawless, take away the lawlessness from it, and it's the people that will suffer. Because one, they cannot cross the road without we stopping, right? Because we are the most polite set of drivers in Grenada when you look at it. All right? So up to the last point where the rail bottleneck come out, why the reason why we come out is that officially they say they cannot charge the $550 and give us anything on it. All right? So the begging for concession, it seems like that is a standstill now. So my question is, what that leaves us? We cannot raise the bus price as we want, all right, based on the high increase.
Right.
How of goods and services. How come we cannot pass our increase onto a consumer where we providing our service?
Yeah.
right? So all the business of bus operators will be going down the drain and it's heading in a bad path.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
So that clears up a little bit.
Thank you, caller. We appreciate you. I guess it just makes sense that if the price has increased, then that price should somehow be carried over because everything else happens like that. For rice and whatever, the price go up, then the price of rice goes up, but not so with the bus prices.
No.
Uh, and I mean, I really hope that some negotiation could be done. So it's not only about the soft loans. There are much more help that the bus drivers are asking for or looking for, which we now understand a little bit clearer, right? Anything else you wanted to add, Larry?
Well, what I would basically like to say is that I just hope that this reaches to the right people. I hope that you know we would look the narrative of busmen across Grenada, and there are lots of people who still believe that we are illiterate, and it's like based on where we come from. But I would say this, and I would send this strong message out that the group of guys right now who are at the helm of the bus associations, we are really looking to change the narrative. We are looking to make a difference. We are looking to change the perceptions of people that they have towards us. And we are calling on the public. We are calling on the public to assist because we can't do it without the public. We depend on you for our everyday commute. If you guys don't ride with us, we can't make money.
Right.
I think that I think we have a lot of support, but I know there are some people who are still on the sidelines because of maybe experiences they've had with different busmen. But there's a reason for it. And we have to get down to the reason for it and we have to solve it. And we can't do it alone, we have to do it together.
Right. Right. And Derek?
Yeah, well, I would like to say that the match day met its objective, and I would like to just thank all the presidents and executive of the different zones that actually put in a lot of work, that we could have come out today and bring our plight to the streets and to the people. And all is not lost. We would continue to fight for a bus system of quality and not quantity. And we cannot do it by ourselves, like Larry said. And if you have any issue with some of the way that we operate, you have to remember that we have to do it together, because something that's rewarded would always be repeated.
Yeah.
So if a bus operator is doing a bad action and you reward him, it's going to continue. So what I'm saying is, together we have to change the culture that's out there. But to get back on point, we need immediate relief, right? We need some serious injection into our industry, into the bus industry. We need to take transportation very serious. If transportation, if we pull up, this country goes nowhere. People would be stranded. People would not be going to work. People would be going to school. Although school is on holiday right now, but we still have people doing classes on those kind of things. And this executive doesn't want to go down that kind of road. We want diplomacy, and that's why we are actually taking it to the streets, so that it wouldn't fall on deaf ears, and the kind of help and assistance that we need would come to us. So I'm stop on that.
Yeah, and someone says that who feels it knows it. Some people sitting
Uh,
in the background and they don't understand.
we feel it.
Yeah, yeah.
We feel it
And
because
important
because
that, go ahead.
yeah, we feel the high insurance cost yearly, and you cannot pay insurance in a day or a month. You have to save for it every day. We feel it when at the end of the month come and we have to pay that mortgage. We feel it when a diff break and you have to pull like $3,000 and $4,000. right? We feel it when a part go like a top arm and something like that, and you have to pull out $1,100 to repair it and to pay the mechanics. They watch the trickle down from our industry is so enormous that we contribute the people that sells at the terminus, we that patronize them, right? The boots and so on. Then you talk about the body work man, the meat man, the wash down man. So our industry contributes a lot to the. So all we saying is just help so we can help our country.
Yeah. And someone said to me, you know, the road is another thing that we have to talk about. They say, you know, to drive in some of these places and them, you have to have your PhD, your pothole dodger. It'll be a pothole dodger.
Hence the reason why we have so many accidents. And I think Soka Boka, the DC Soka Boka summarized it best. We have road in the hole.
Yeah, that's another problem that I'm hearing from busmen, and it's negatively affecting your car, and then you have to spend more. I mean, your buses, and you have to spend more. So we understand it, and it was important that I wanted to hear your guys on this. I wanted to hear your plight. Yeah, I wanted to hear your story on this because it's important. Because a lot of things that was said here today, I didn't know, and I know a lot of our viewers didn't know. So it's important, and I think we did good in sharing that information here on the platform. And I thank you guys for doing that, and I thank the Grand Anse Bus Association and all the bus association for putting this together and making sure that someone is represented here to speak on this. Anyway, thank you guys. We appreciate you, and we'll keep in touch. All right.
Yeah, man.
All right. Cool.
Thank you. And that's the National Bus Association.
National Bus Association. All right. National Bus Association. All right. Sorry about that. Yes. National Bus Association.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah.
You gotta be firm in this time, son.
Yeah.
You gotta be strong in this.
All right. So there you go, guys. You hear the National Bus Association, what the problems, the stress, the headaches that they've been going through over the past, and it's true. I understand. And just the soft loan that has been proposed is not enough. We heard their story. All right. We hope that the right people listening, though. We hope that the right people are listening, and things could change for their situation, because there is no there is no government bus system. There is no, like in Trinidad and well, not in Trinidad. Does Trinidad have one? I don't know. I'm not sure. But they are, like in New York, for instance. These guys are privately owned. They bought their buses, and they have to deal with everything that break to fix, because they are their own CEO. They're managing their own business. Whatever happened, they have to fix it. And with the high gas price and regulated fares, they can't change that. Something need to give. All right. So thanks again, guys, for watching and sharing and hearing the National Bus Association story. We're going to continue to follow it, as always, as we say here on Ridealong Live. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for being a part of our program. Catch me again tomorrow, guys. Don't forget that from next week, we're going to be in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, right? So we're going to be in St. Vincent and the Grenadines for 8 days. So all the folks in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we are coming your way. We are going to be all over the island. Going to be all over. We have a lot of time, but 8 days is not really not a lot of time, but we're going to use our time wisely. We're going to be all over the island. We want to take a look at what's happening. We're going to be raising funds. Still, there are people in shelters that need assistance. We're going to be looking at that, hearing from them firsthand. We're going to be exploring St. Vincent and the Grenadines all over. So look for us, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And from the 23rd, we're going to be in Grenada. So the folks in Grenada, we come in your way as well, and I think after that we go in. Where we going? Barbados, I think. One of them places. But we make it a little island tour and see what's happening in the Caribbean. So I want you guys to be a part of what's happening as well. Continue to share, continue to like, continue to be a part. And if you have not yet liked the page, like the page. And if you have not yet also subscribe to us on YouTube, bam, right there. Go ahead, subscribe to us on YouTube. So when we go live in all these places, you'll get your notification and you'll be able to see what we're doing. All right. Don't forget, subscribe to us on YouTube and also like the page. What else? Also, yeah. I'll tell you about the live. Yeah. This one right here. riderslive.com. Check us out on riderslive.com. All the information is shared at the bottom of the screen. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of our program, guys. Catch me again tomorrow. Bye. Peace out. On behalf of all our production crew, our producer, Lois JJ, our moderators, Deanne Fraser, Gail Kibbs. Thank you guys for watching. Catch me tomorrow. Bye-bye.
You gotta be firm in this time, son.
And of course, I got to big up Rena and Lydia James and everybody else.
I will survive.
Bye-bye.
Survive. And I'm a firm believer. We'll forever shine just to stay alive. That simple means that nobody can hold me back. Nobody can change my energy. Nobody can turn me sick. I will let alone negativity. Nobody can hold me human. Nobody can change my energy. Nobody can. Nobody can. Everybody show me some strength. No weakness. Show me a lion bomb. Strength. No weakness. Show them who we are. Strength. No weakness. Show me a lion bomb. Everybody strength. No weakness. Show them who we are. Not when you roll. Your enemies they must tremble. Your enemies they must tremble. Yo, not when you roll.
Welcome to TD Bank, where you'll find the personalized attention you deserve and the legendary experience you expect. Let's do business. If you are a medical or dental practitioner, contact me to hear about our tailored lending solutions for residential mortgages, equipment purchases, practice-related commercial mortgages and refinance. Visit me at 500 Baychester Avenue to hear more about our full range of personal and small business banking solutions. See you soon.
Williams Funeral Service serve you with dignity and compassion as you mourn. Every day, we embark on the journey of life, and one day, the journey will end. It's on that day that you can entrust the celebration of life of your loved ones to David Williams Funeral Service. Call 718-291-3823.